Ínta, Brachachas Public na Héireann, agus tríhheanna hagriacht í mílite oscailte, Óglí na Héireann agus Aram Carnacha na Héireann. Thréisdí a féin smacht ar bhiú go fáine. Thréisdí fannacht go seaswa le teach an lé hirtn. Bherann sí anois ar an bháil agus le cabhair na clanne atá ar dúireach luí America, agus ó cógúilethe calma san órad, ach ag brath sa chéadáit ar an neart féin. Búlann sí agus lán-dóchas eici go mbainigh sí an bua.
Military organisations, the Irish Volunteers and the Irish Citizen Army, having patiently perfected her discipline, having resolutely waited for the right moment to reveal itself, she now seizes that moment and, supported by her exiled children in America and by gallant allies in Europe, but relying in the first on her own strength, she strikes in full confidence of victory.
Jarvamid gur ceart canasach Dachlíte
McDonough, P.H. Pearce, Eamon Cant, James Connolly, Joseph Plunkett.
Colvin and Debbie. We also remember today the late John Joe Kyle, who was laid to rest in his native Ardbow yesterday. We also remember today the tragic death of Kieran Morgan, who's a brother of Damien, who is a Sinn Féin member here in Monaghan town. On a different note, our Dáil leader and our TD for Cavan Monaghan, Cuivín O'Callaghan, send solidarity greetings to you all this Easter. Today, the Deputy is in Galway and he's delivering orations in Ballinasloe and Galway City. Moving along, the reed laying, I would call on all reed bearers to lay the reeds on the graves of the volunteers buried in this cemetery.
Extends fraternal greetings to all volunteers, to Republican activists, and to our supporters and friends at home and abroad. We send solidarity greetings to our imprisoned comrades and their families. On this, the 88th anniversary of the 1916 Rising, we especially remember our patriot dead and extend solidarity to their families. We commemorate the freedom fighters of all generations who have given their lives for Irish freedom. 10 years ago, we declared a complete cessation of military operations to enhance the democratic peace process. We stated our belief that an opportunity to secure a just and lasting settlement had been created. Our cessation was not only a definitive and powerful signal of our commitment to that process, it was also a defining moment in the recent history of this island. We stated that others, especially the British government, had a duty to face up to their responsibilities. In an attempt to deflect from the significance of our initiative and evade their responsibilities, the British government of that time and the political leaderships of unionism became fixated with achieving the surrender of the IRA. They failed, and despite their opposition, the peace process was created. South were being terrorised by the IUC, the British Army and their surrogates in the unionist death squads. 23 years ago, the men and women of the H-blocks in Armagh jail defeated the policy of criminalisation. 10 Irish Republicans died in hunger strike in defence of the integrity of the Republican struggle. This new attempt will also fail. Last October, agreements were made and commitments given. The IRA leadership fulfilled our commitments. The leadership of the Ulster Unionist Party and the two governments did not fulfil theirs. They acted in bad faith. Yet again, the two governments are attempting to move the goalposts. This has caused justifiable anger. It is unacceptable that other protagonists should try to dictate the terms of our cessation. The honouring of agreements and commitments is critical in instilling confidence and demonstrating that politics can work. They are essential elements of building an enduring political process. The two governments, and in particular the British government, must fulfil their commitments. Until they do so, there can be little prospect of any progress. Bergie Bua, P. O'Neill, Irish Republican Publicity Bureau, Dublin.
It was not. It was a British government policy of state-sanctioned killing. Unionist death squads were armed, trained and directed at the wider nationalist community and at Republicans in particular. The people and the structures which ran this campaign from Downing Street through Frew, MI5 and the Special Branch remain in place. They must be removed, the policy must be ended. Curry is only the tip of the iceberg. Many more dirty secrets still lie in Downing Street and in PSNI headquarters in Knock. I wish to pay tribute to the families of those murdered through the collusion policy. They refuse to accept the lies and the cover-up and have campaigned, some for up to 20 years and more, for the truth. They deserve our praise and our support in the time ahead.
declares its resolve to pursue the happiness and prosperity of the whole nation, of all its parts, cherishing all the children of the nation equally, and oblivious of differences carefully fostered by an alien government, which has divided minority from majority in the past. Until our arms have brought the opportune moment for the establishment of a permanent national government, representative of the whole people of Ireland, and elected by the suffrages of her men and women, the provisional government hereby constituted will administer civil and military affairs of the Republic in trust for the people. We place the cause of the Irish Republic under the protection of the Most High God, whose blessing we evoke upon our arms, and we pray that no one who serves the cause will dishonour it by cowardice, inhumanity or rapine. In this supreme hour, the Irish nation must be its valour and discipline, by the readiness of our children to sacrifice themselves for the common good, and prove itself worthy of the august destiny to which it is called. Signed on behalf of the Provisional Government, Thomas J. Clark, Sean McDermott, Thomas McDonough, P.H. Pearce, Eamon Kent, James Conley, Joseph Plunkett.
In Achnahula, the public Tawny and Campashaw are in last Darrywell. This year marks the 88th anniversary of the 1916 Rising. 88 years ago, Republican men and women marched out to fight the British Empire at the height of their power. We remember them with pride, and like groups right throughout Ireland and abroad, we are gathered to celebrate and commemorate their life and their times. Yesterday, I was down in Roscommon with a group of Republicans in County Roscommon, in Longford, Drumlish, where a similar group to yourselves gathered. The Mayor of Monaghan Town, Sean Conlon, was in Chicago on Saturday evening. Yesterday, he addressed a group of Republicans in New York. And yesterday or today, a smaller group of Republicans gathered to commemorate the Easter Rising. And that was 3 Irish Republicans in prison in Colombia. So you are part of a big force of people who are commemorating Irish men and women who give their lives, and also planning and scheming for the future, ensuring that their dream is brought into reality. Those who are commemorating and celebrating here today, John Rudden, James Murphy, Terry McCaffrey and Mick Rehill, are an example of all the patriots during the decades. They are people who went out and fought the Black and Tans and worked and kept the Republican tradition alive in this area ever since. We also honour those Republicans who have died in the latest phase of the struggle for freedom since 1964 and died over the last 30 years. We pay tribute to the volunteers of Ogley Naherin, and we acknowledge the role they have played in the struggle for Irish freedom. We acknowledge also the tremendous efforts they have made to ensure that the Irish peace process succeeds. It is required for all parties and the 2 governments to honour their obligations and the deals that they've entered into.
young people like Allohand is the fact that at a time when the campaign, the 50s, the 40s and into the early 60s, was very difficult for people to try and go forward, but they kept the flame alive. And one of the things that is close in relation to those and the people that were mentioned earlier in relation to British government and indeed the Irish government members who attack us is that the volunteers who died in those campaigns and indeed those people who died since 1969 were comrades in close association with those men and women who walked out, who marched out to fight in 1916, and they're that close and nobody should ever forget, and that's why we're so proud of them. We're so proud of the people of 1916 and the past that we have, and no one can take that away from us.
Papa, 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 Papa.
Thank you. And now I'd like to call on our